Welcome back. I'm Eric.
And I'm Melissa.
And this is part 2 of our Cowlitz Gamers for Kids pickup video. It was a swap meet that was on March 22nd, and I went by myself.
And I stayed home
She
with the
stayed
kids.
home, watched the kids. So this time, this was my third swap meet that I went to, and I tried to stay within a budget this time, and I was almost successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Went a little over budget, but we'll talk about why that is at the end, because there was a great pickup there. So this is part 2. This is the Sega and Nintendo pickups. If you didn't join us for part 1, it's the video before this one, and I talk about all the stuff I get that was not Sega or not Nintendo. So let's dive right into the Nintendo stuff. As normal, I will start with the loose manuals that I got.
These are great.
Yeah.
They're so great. You've gotten so many manuals.
Yeah, I love getting the manuals there. For many game systems, I like to get them in box, but for some of the older ones, I get the cartridge in the manual and I call it complete. And that's certainly true for NES and Game Boy. So these are NES manuals. I got Adventures of Lolo, which is a game that I already have. Back to the Future, also a game I already have. The label's in really bad shape. I'm not sure why I bought this manual because I did not intend on keeping the game, but maybe I'll get a better version of the game. I have played that game and it's kind of, well, it's as good as people say it is. Baseball, I think I have this game. Anyway, that will complete it. This game I know I don't have, Batman, but this is Batman Return of the Joker, so I think this is the second Batman game. Don't have this game yet, but it's likely that I will get it if I ever see it, so I grabbed the manual. Bible Adventures. I do have this game. I found it at a pawn shop, and I had to pick it up because people are always talking about it. It's a blue cartridge. I don't know if there are other variations, but I have the blue variation of it. And this manual is a fold out, and there's actually some writing on the back. But I normally wouldn't buy manuals with writing, but I figured I'm probably not going to see this one around too much, so I just went ahead and grabbed it. Bubble Bobble. I have this game also. Commando, with the great pink Capcom cover and Captain Commando on the front. Double Dribble, another game I've already got. Fester's Quest, I got this game at the Northwest Classic Gamers Expo back in January. Jeopardy, a game I've already got. Legend of Kage, I picked this game up at a Craigslist bundle. Maniac Mansion, I do not have this game, but I will. It's on my wish list, so I grabbed the manual for it. And Punch Out, the non-Mike Tyson's version. I have this game. I got it from a Craigslist bundle, so I grabbed the manual. And The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. I do have this game too. I think I got it in a Craigslist bundle. So that will complete those games. And then, really exciting, I saw a young man that I've seen him the last 3 times, and he's always got good prices. I bought Final Fantasy III from him, and he had Dragon Warrior 4, this is the Explorer's Handbook. He also had the, I guess this is the monster list. I don't know. There's something on the other side too. It might be items. It looks like items and monsters. And then the map. And this has got the world map, and then on the other side it's got some of the maps of the cave. So he had these 3. And apparently I got a pretty good price on it because when I looked it up later, these things tend to go for a little bit. So this will actually, from my perspective, from what I can tell, complete my Dragon Warrior 4. I got the cartridge from a Craigslist bundle, but now that I have the manual and the 2 other editions, I think for my purposes that completes it because I don't really care about getting the boxes. So I still need to get complete. There's some items I'm missing for Dragon Warrior 1. I have nothing for Dragon Warrior 2, and I only have the cartridge for Dragon Warrior 3. So I still have some stuff to complete there. Super Nintendo. This is the only Super Nintendo item I got. It turns out I tend not to get Super Nintendo games because I like to get them complete in box, and they're just too expensive. But I do have this loose. I got it from a Craigslist bundle, and so I picked up the manual. The manual cover is a little odd to me because it looks nothing like the cartridge, but this appears to be for the game that I'm interested in, which I tried out recently, and it's good. I mean, I've seen some other YouTubers talk about this game, and it's actually quite good. It's probably better than the movie it's based off of. But yeah, I was happy to get that. And then finally, also, the only Game Boy thing I got was this manual for Paperboy. This was I bought Paperboy at my local thrift shop a few weeks ago. I think it was probably in the February pickups. I don't think I'm giving away any March pickups yet, but I did get this, so now I have the manual for it. So that's it for the Super Nintendo and Game Boy. I didn't get any Game Boy games at all, which is odd. And then I have some Nintendo 64 manuals here. I don't have the games. I don't have any of these games, but I picked them up in case I ever do want to get them loose. Castlevania. I'd like to get the Legacy of Darkness version, but it's so expensive I may just get this one instead. And I know they're almost the same, but there are some slight differences. Quest 64. You got to have Quest 64 if you have a Nintendo 64. I mean, I know it's not supposed to be a very good game or anything like that, but it seems like it's just so unique for that system. It's just a part of what that system is. So I think I'm going to try to get that. San Francisco Rush. I think I have San Francisco Rush 2049 manual also. So I've been trying to get the Rush games and the Cruisin' games. So I picked up the manual for this. I probably saw the game there too, but I tend not to buy them unless the cartridge is in good shape because I figure they're all over the place. And then Yoshi's Story. This is a game that I kind of do want. It came with the card, and I saw a copy there, but it was pretty. It wasn't in good. I don't think it was in good enough shape, or it was too expensive. But I am interested in trying to get this game, so I grabbed the manual for it. I do try to get N64 games complete, but.
This is a different kind of manual.
Yeah, this one's got sort of a flat finish to it. But now that I put my N64 games in Universal Game Cases, I'm okay with getting some of them unboxed. And then I bought a bunch of Nintendo Powers from that same young man who sold me Final Fantasy III and the Dragon Warrior 4. These are some of the early ones, and I grabbed them because they were early. Now, he actually had the first issue. And I set it aside, and I said, okay, well, and I kind of created a stack, and I said, well, what are you asking for these things? And he says, well, for most of them, I'm asking, whatever, some figure, $5 or something, and except for that other one, I'm asking $80. And I said, oh, okay, well, I wasn't sure how rare it was, but I think you've told me now, and I'll just set that aside because I'm not paying $80 for a Nintendo Power. But I'm not into collecting it that much. But if I can get them for cheap, I will. Now these are from 1988 and 89. This is issue 3, I think. It doesn't say that on here now. They hadn't numbered him yet. This is November, December 1988. And from what I can tell, it's issue number 3. And so these were kind of early, and they're in pretty good shape. So he was asking $3. I normally try to pay about $1. But since these were so early, I said, well, what the heck? I'll just go ahead and do it. So we got a bunch of Nintendo Powers. I guess I'll read them off real quick. This is November, December. I mean, you guys are probably familiar with these. I've never seen these, so I'm not as familiar. May, June, July, August, and these all look like they cover great games too. I mean, Mega Man 2, DuckTales. For some reason, he wanted $5 for this one, and I said, okay, fine. This is September, October of 1989, so just around the time the Genesis came out. May, June 1990, Super C. I mean, we got some great stuff here. Volume 16, Maniac Mansion. I don't know where this fits into the timeline anymore. Dr. Mario, number 18. Number 22, Metal Storm. I think this is a really hard to come by game. It's really sought after. It's really kind of expensive. 26. So they're not consecutive. So I'm going to have these gaps now. But this is volume 26, Robin Hood. I don't know about that game. And then he kind of convinced me. This has got sort of the end of your subscriptions running out thing. But it's the Final Fantasy strategy. So I thought, what the heck. Final Fantasy. I mean, that's a good game to have. I've played it. I think I played the PlayStation version. I didn't play the NES version because it drove me crazy that you would attack empty space. If the monster that you told your character to attack died before your turn, the character would swipe at empty air. And I just thought that was the most ridiculous way to run an RPG, the mechanics of an RPG. So I played the PlayStation version where that option could be toggled, where he would go and attack the next available enemy. So I never played the NES version, but I thought it would be nice to have the guide. And then I bought this. I couldn't help it. This is probably, old hat to many, many people. Boy, I hope that's not writing in there. Anyway, this is old hat, but I always told myself if I ever found one of these, I'd go ahead and get it. It just seems cool. The NES is kind of new to me. I mean, I've had one for 17 years, but
You didn't have it as a kid.
I didn't have it as a kid, and so some of this stuff is all new to me. So I just love this. This is just fantastic. I would have loved it even, back in 1989, this would have been fantastic. The Sega Master System, there's nothing like this for the Sega Master System. So anyway, I picked that up. All right, so that's it for the, I guess the literature, the paperwork stuff. I got these two N64 games. Let's see. I got Cruisin' World. Cruisin'? What did I say? Cruisin' World.
You're getting the cruising games, right?
Yeah, I'm getting all the I'm trying to get many of the Cruisin' games. So I have Cruisin' USA and I have Cruisin' World. This one was the price was okay. The box is smashed up, but it's complete, and the game and the manual are in good shape. So I went ahead and got it. I'll put the game in a universal game case, and I'll try to flatten out the box and stick it in a protector. But I was happy to get that. I'm trying to get the cruising games. And then Pilot Wings, same situation. The box is not in great shape, but it's complete inside. It's the cartridge and the manual are in good shape. And these I actually did look at, so there's not the wrong game in there. But they're in good shape, so I went ahead and got them, and I'll stick them in universal game cases and just stick the boxes in a plastic protector. So those are the two N64 games. Both of them were on my list, so I'm happy to get those. I guess I skipped the NES games. Let's go ahead and do those. 1942. I got the manual and the game. I think I got them separately. Yeah, I have 1943, and I always wanted to get 1942, and I like shoot 'em up, so that was easy. Am I gonna do the NES Complex thing? Astyanax? I don't know how he does it. He does it better than I do. Anyway, this game was advertised in GamePro back in 1988 or 89, and it was one of those games that I always kind of knew about, and I kind of wanted to get, so I bought it. No manual or anything for that yet. Cobra Triangle. I don't know why I bought this. It was in a bin that said it said 200 for everything in the bin, and what I thought it meant was $2 for every game in the bin. No, what he meant was $200 for the entire bin. But so I picked this out when I thought it was going to be a $2 game, and it seems like it might be a shooter. I don't know. It's got a dragon or a serpent and a boat, but the label's in really good shape, and I figured for $2 I'd keep it. Well, once I found out that it was the games were sticker price, it still had a sticker price of $2, and I just kept it. I put a bunch back, but this is one I kept. I really don't know anything about this, but it's in really good shape, so maybe it's good. Although I guess if the label's in really good shape, that would imply that it's not very good because it means nobody ever played it. I don't know. Donkey Kong 3. This is one of the black labels that I was missing, so I went ahead and grabbed this. I guess this is one of the more expensive ones. I think I got a pretty good price on it. Not really sure. But the label's in good shape. Pinball, another black label that I needed. I saw quite a few black labels that I needed, but I didn't get many of them because I didn't like the condition they were in. But this one was okay, except I didn't notice this big giant black splotch on the back. Maybe I'll flip it out. I don't know. I'm nervous about doing that. I mean, they all look the same, but I don't know. This label has a number stamped on it, so I don't know if swapping out the back for another one you'd know by the number. Oh, wait a minute, this wasn't the original pinball back. But I tried getting this off with rubbing alcohol, and that's as good as it got. I can't believe it. This is the most trouble I've ever had with marker. I could try one of those Mr. Clean erasers, but those things are actually slightly abrasive, and I did it to my Blaze of Steel. And when you look at the case, because these Nintendo games have this, they kind of have this rough surface. When you use those Mr. Clean on them, you can actually see that it kind of changes the surface. So I try not to use those. So I'm not sure what I'll do about that. But anyway, pinball, black label. It's one of the ones I needed. Rescue the Embassy mission. This is one that I wanted. I've always associated this with Golgo 13, the top secret episode. I don't know that they're actually related. But again, this was one that I always used to see in GamePro. And so I bought it. Got the manual separately. Top Gun.
Yay.
Yay. This is one that I tried to buy at the Northwest Classic Gamers Expo, but
you got the other.
I got the original Top. I got the box, but the guy had put the original Top Gun and manual in there. So I have the manual because I bought that separately. I have the box, and now I have the game.
And now you have Top Gun Second Mission.
So yeah, so that puts that story to an end. And finally, Urban Champion, another black label that I needed. It's in good shape. 5 screw. What else? There was another 5 screw in here. 1942 was also a 5-screw. But not Donkey Kong and not Pinball. Those are 3 screws. I don't think I'm going to worry about 5-screw only black labels. But maybe if I get bored later and I've got them all, I'll go ahead and do that. Well, I don't know. All right, GameCube. Got 3 GameCube games this time. That's a little unusual for me, but I do have a pretty good GameCube collection. Geist. This is one of the last GameCube games I remember wanting back at retail many years ago, and I couldn't ever bring myself to buy it at retail because it just wasn't going down, and then it disappeared. But this time the price was right. The game's in good shape. Case is in good shape. So I finally have Geist. It's one of the GameCube games I've wanted for the longest time. Finally have it. Seems kind of like a unique game. Phantasy Star Online Episode 3, Card Revolution. This was the only, GameCube was the only system, I think it was the only system this game came out for. The GameCube also had online episodes 1 and 2, which I did not buy because it's kind of expensive. I have it for the Dreamcast. I don't really care about playing these online. I don't have the network adapter. This is just kind of to say, okay, well I have, this was sort of a unique Phantasy Star Online game for the GameCube, so I grabbed it.
Plus, if you have 1 and 2, you have to have 3.
Yeah, so it kind of completes, from my concern, it kind of completes my Phantasy Star Online. And this is one of the last games I bought at the Expo. It's just $10, but that's not what I paid. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus. Now, the only reason I bought this is because it has the arcade game. It includes the arcade Unlock a Blast from the Past, the original TMT arcade game. Boy, I sure hope I don't have to go through some kind of goofy level or some kind of hidden thing to unlock this. I kind of just want to play the arcade game. But this is kind of cool. I guess it's 2 discs. It came complete. They're in okay shape. So I'll have to figure out how to unlock that because that's really what I want to play. I'd like to buy it on Xbox Live Arcade, but it's not available anymore. I still have the demo, and every time I go in and I try to buy the game, it gives me some kind of weird error or it hangs or something stupid. But okay, so that's it for GameCube. That's actually it for Nintendo.